It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, May 22nd. How is everyone doing today? I appreciate you guys giving me a day off from a live yesterday. Of course, I still had an amazing episode with Maureen Callahan. What a fun episode that was. I rewatched it with you guys. I was live in the comments during the premiere, and I had so much fun watching it with you. I felt like a doser. I was a doser in the comments. If you haven't watched that episode, make sure to go check out my YouTube or the podcast and listen to Maureen Callahan spilling the unfiltered tea on all her thoughts on Blake Lively, Meghan Markle, Chrissy Teigen, Glennon Doyle, Rachel Hollis, Mel Robbins. It was so much fun, but it was really fun just like watching. I was exhausted yesterday. I had a crazy night the night before because I had to wake up at 3:45 to take my son to Sacramento, not to Sacramento. That would be psycho. To take my son to the airport because he went to Sacramento for a school trip. And if you guys know how that is when you have to wake up really early, like you don't sleep the night before because you're so anxious about waking up. So I did not sleep the night before. And yesterday I was a zombie. I was like not functioning. I was a non-functioning human being. So it was really nice to have a pre-recorded episode and I loved watching it. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here. We are going to get into all of it. I see all of you in the comments. We will talk about so much. There's so many things to talk about. There's so many updates with the Taylor Swift, Blake Lively legal stuff that just came out in the last hour. So many things that we have to get into. Why Taylor Swift's subpoena was pulled. We're going to talk about the reasoning for it and Taylor, an insider of why Taylor is saying, I wish I would have never met Blake. And you know what? I think we're speaking for all the dosers. I think we all feel the same way. I mean, it's one reason that we're all together, but yes, I agree. We will also be talking about the update in the Karen Reed trial and how we're going to get through the next few days because it looks like Judge Bev is off on her Memorial Day vacation. She's got the Virginia Slim Chardonnay. She's on some sort of boat. Actually, I know exactly where Judge Bev is, and I'll talk about that. And you're not going to be happy to hear about it. We're also going to talk about Summer House and the Valley. We also have some horrendous news that happened last night in DC. And I don't like to talk about world news, politics here on this show. I really don't. But sometimes it just hits too close to home. So I will be touching on that. We're going to get into so much. I'll try to keep you guys laughing. Let's keep it light and tight. Let's keep it subscribe. Hit the like right now because it's time, guys. It's time to get your sprinkler going get your arms up. Come on, we're Operation Move, right? We're gonna work out in 3, 2, 1. It's your daily dose of Donna. One thing that Maureen Callahan and I talked about is if you are not polarizing, if you are not making people question you, you're doing something wrong. You know, it's so interesting. I used to be a people pleaser. I really did. I truly used to be a people pleaser. And it's the one thing that I've learned to overcome on this show. Doing Daily Dose of Donna taught me that I will never ever be able to please them all. I will never, ever be able to make everyone like me. I could literally rescue cats and do infant heart surgery live on air, and someone will find an issue with what I do because that's how the world works. So the best thing to do in life is just be your damn self. Just do what feels good to you. Obviously, don't be a shitty human being and don't, be an asshole. But if you are trying to just be authentic to who you are, and maybe that means being a little unfiltered and a little bit raw or blunt or whatever, That's the best thing. Because then the best part about that is that you're just going to take people on your journey and they're going to recognize you for who you are. You're going to be real at least. And I think that Maureen Callahan, the reason why I really like her, the reason why I'm drawn to her, and I don't agree with everything she says, of course, because that would be psycho. That would be like, that's cultish, right? Like this ain't no Scientology, Ron Miscavige bullshit. But I believe that if you're not able to just openly say what's on your mind for fear of someone out there not liking it, especially in this world, like forget it. You might as well just like go in a hole and cover yourself up with like covers and just stay mute. Stay mute. It's never going to work. It ain't ever going to work. And I truly feel just like Enrique. Life is like a bowl full of cherries. Okay? That's how we live our lives. What the hell does that even mean? What does a bowl full whooping and roll, whooping and hollering, life is like a bowl of cherries? What does that even mean? You take a bite and there is a hard pit inside? That's not life. Then you spit out the pit? There's a stem on your life? Like what does a bowl of cherries even mean? A box of chocolates, you never know what you're going to get. I like that. Forrest Gump had it right. Willie Elaine McAlpin did not. Now, I will tell you one thing about Willie Elaine McAlpin is that Willie Elaine McAlpin had she had yesterday a run-in with a friend of mine. Well, my friend had a run-in with her, I should say. And I can't really get into like specifics where they were, but they were here in LA. I will tell you that at an apartment building, local to here. I can't say specifically where she lives. And I did get a little dirt on the sister. I did. I found out how much the sister, the acting coach sister, Lori, charges. Now, this is alleged. This is just from a friend of mine who is an actor. And this is what she knows. She charges allegedly $350 an hour to coach a kid for acting coaching. Now, I will tell you, being an acting coach is very expensive. It's not expensive to work. Well, actually, let me reframe. When you work with kid actors, it's a racket because I used to be one. And so you could just keep charging. And if you are Blake Lively's sister, I think that you have the ability to keep charging more and more and more because your name is Blank Lively. Now, this is just alleged. I don't know how much she really charges. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But from this person that I spoke to yesterday, who is currently an actor, she's not a kid, but she's an adult actor. She said she charges $350. She said that her friend's daughter was going to Lori Lively, spent $350 an hour because she is the best of the best, according to everyone. She works with all the Disney shows. And within the first 10 minutes that her daughter was there and that she met Lori, she knew all about the fact that she was Blake Lively's sister, and she would talk smack about Blake. Now, this is prior to the lawsuit. Maybe things have changed since, but there is a lot of like just backstabbing in that family. This is according to my friend, who also happened to be telling her friend all about the extortion, the alleged extortion with Taylor Swift. And as she's telling her about everything, she turns around and she's like, "Hi, Elaine. Right here." Now, she doesn't believe. This is all, maybe I'm telling you guys too much, but allegedly, Miss Willie Elaine McAlpin, what's her name again? Cherry woman. Allegedly, she didn't hear anything. So she had no idea that they were having that conversation because apparently she's like kind of just in her own little world, which makes me think that there may be, according to the friend, there may be like a little lack of fully like present. Is it maybe like a little older? Maybe she's not 100% aware of like everything. Is that why when she was given the Time magazine speech, when Blake was like outing her as the victim of, this violent, horrific experience, that she looked at her son-in-law in that moment and said, "Should I cry now?" Do you remember that when she was like, "Is this the moment?" I feel tears. Do you guys remember that weird moment where she looked at Ryan? She's like, now it's not working. Press the button, Ryan. Ryan, the onion is not working. All right, let's get into the entire story right now of everything that's happening because we do have a lot of updates with Taylor Swift, with Blake Lively, and we have the updates of why the subpoena was pulled, but it's a good thing, even though the Blakeys are going to spin it round and round like they always do. But you know what we say here? This is what the motto of Daily Dose of Donna is. Okay, we're gonna have a new motto. I don't know if this is gonna stick or not, and I'm just thinking of this right now in this moment, so it won't be good. But we're gonna have to workshop this. Okay, this is the motto of Daily Dose of Donna: do not trust the media. And by media, I mean like legacy media. You can trust this kind of stuff. Do not trust the media because whatever headlines you read, you're probably not going to get the real truth of it. I'll explain in just a moment. Before we get into it, I want to remind you guys that this week's episodes of Daily Dose of Donna is brought to you by Alloy Women's Health. Aging can be, well, let's put it plainly, crappy. Problem sleeping, that's me. Hot flashes, that was me in the middle of the night. Any women out there waking up in a full sweat? Is this 43? Almost 44? I'm going to be 44 on June 11th. Oh my God, it's over. Brain fog, weight gain, and decreased libido can hit us pretty hard. Menopause and midlife is inevitable, but it's also treatable. I just found out that almost half of women went 3+ years before seeking relief from menopause or perimenopausal symptoms. You know what? I really need to start taking my Alloy more seriously because 43% of women reported that their doctors just never even mentioned menopause hormone therapy as an option for treatment. So here's how it works. You sign up. Alloy solutions are available by prescription, so you'll need to complete a short medical questionnaire and patient verification. You design your treatment plan with a physician. You'll work with an expert physician to finalize a personalized treatment plan. It's fast, it's accessible, and their treatments actually work. From full body relief to radiant skin. Get your 3-month supply, and they ship your prescription directly to your door with automatic refills. I can't recommend Alloy enough. Join the 95% of women who tried Alloy and saw relief in the first 2 weeks. Head to myalloy.com/dailydose and tell them all about your symptoms, and you'll get a fully customized treatment plan. And you're going to get $20 off your first order today. Go to myalloy.com/dailydose and enter code dailydose for $20 off your first order. Should we do this together, you guys? We should all do this together. We should all go to Alloy together. All right, now into the news, the big news, okay? Taylor Swift, her subpoena was officially pulled. How many times can we say subpoena today? Should we take a shot every time we say subpoena? And this is going to really trigger everyone that doesn't like when I drink water. But a girl's got to stay hydrated. Okay. Taylor Swift's subpoena was pulled by Brian Friedman and Justin Baldoni's team. Now, you can look at this 2 ways, okay? Blake Lively's team is going to be like, see, told you so. Another way for them to just use the media. And in fact, this is exactly how they spun it, exactly that way, because Blake Lively did release a quote. Let me pull it up exactly. Their quote was, Taylor's lack. Hold on. Lively spokesman said in a statement to Daily Mail, "We are pleased that Justin." Let's imagine what Blake Lively's spokespeople talk, how they talk. Okay, should they be British? Sorry for my Brits, but should they be British? Okay, let's imagine it. We are pleased that Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer parties have withdrawn their harassing subpoenas to Taylor Swift and her law firm. We supported the efforts of Taylor's team to quash these inappropriate subpoenas directed at her counsel, and we will continue to stand up for any third party who's unjustly harassed or threatened in the process. We are working for women. We stand up for women. We protect Taylor Swift. That was the worst British accent I've ever done. I'm not an actor. I am sorry. Okay? But that's how they're wording it. We knew they would pull this. This is another attempt at them to become a celebrity, to bring in the press. It was so pointless. We asked them to quash it. And sure enough, look what they did. Even though the judge had no ruling in them quashing the subpoena, the judge said nothing about the subpoena needing to be pulled. Brian Friedman and team did this on their own. Okay? Okay. Now, why did they? This is important. The important reason of why the subpoena was pulled is because Brian Friedman dropped the request willingly for the subpoena. And the reason for doing this is very, very simple. They got exactly what they were seeking. See, why do you actually get or put a subpoena into someone? The only reason to create a subpoena or send someone a subpoena is because you are in need or you were requesting documents, some sort of documents, whether it's letters, text messages, emails, something, proof of involvement, of collusion, of communication, whatever. So Blake Lively, allegedly, according to this source that had reached out to Brian Friedman, allegedly, there was communication between Michael Gottlieb, that's Blake Lively's attorney, and Taylor Swift, Venables, Taylor Swift's attorney's Venable. There was communication saying, hey, or this is Taylor Swift, hey, don't you extort my client. Stop doing this. Okay? That's all he wanted. He wanted to see that communication. And when Taylor Swift's text messages and private communications were being subpoenaed, her team was like, uh-oh, that's not going to happen. We are not. Have you seen Travis Kelce's back? We're not letting more of Taylor Swift's personal shit get exposed. Okay. That's it. The most you're going to see of Taylor Swift's inside personal life is Travis Kelce's back, which really needs a little bit of a better wax job. I'm okay with a little bit of hair on your back. Look, that's a personal feeling, the hairy back. Some women love a hairy body. Not me. I don't judge. I don't, do you, boo? Do you, boo? He's got a beautiful face. And he's a phenomenal football player. And he seems like a good man. Not necessarily into the back hair, but that's okay. It's also a little bit patchy. Look, my mom used to wax bodies and do facials for a living my whole life, okay? We have a very big gay community here in Los Angeles. She had a skincare salon in the heart of West Hollywood. She was waxing men back and forth, all the things. I said, Mom, why don't you do it anymore? She said, you know what, Donna? I had to wax too many men's asses. She said, it was that last man's ass that I said, you know what? Packing it in. I'm 70 years old, packing it in. I said, you know what, Mom? I agree. Pack it in. We're done with that. But anyway, I digress. Taylor Swift did not need us to see any more of her personal life, and her team, possibly her family, we've already established. I know everyone's going to say, it's her dad. It's her dad. I don't think we have any proof. Okay. No one has any proof. I established last week on my show that I am confident that it's either her dad or someone on her team, like a tree pain. It's one or the other. Someone that really cares about her reputation. Get the reputation reference. Someone that really cares about her reputation. Someone that really cares about her empire. Someone that wants to protect Taylor Swift is like, no. We're putting the kibosh on this. Give the man what he needs so that we don't have to expose any more of Taylor's personal life. And that was that. So they gave him the freaking letter. They gave him the communication that he needed. And Brian Friedman said, thank you very much. Pull in the subpoena. That's it. It's give me what I need and I won't bother you with anything else. He didn't care what Taylor Swift was texting about Travis Kelce's schlong. I mean, it would be interesting to know. And I'm sure Brian Friedman's, teenagers were interested too. But no one needs to know that. That's all he needed. He needed proof that Blake Lively was witness tampering and extorting to try to hide details of her guilt of covering up Justin Baldoni's innocence. That's what I think. So, where are we with this whole story? Blake Lively is covering it up, saying, ha, 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 another one bites the dust. Taylor Swift didn't need to fall for your games, Brian Friedman. And Brian Friedman's like just playing it simple and cool. Now, I was on the phone with Zach Peter just a little bit ago on the after his show. And I was like, okay, so what's the next step for Brian Friedman with this communication that he has? Now, apparently, he has this letter, this communication. What does he do? What does he do with this? Because I don't know enough about the law and the legal process to know where to go. So I think, and Zach thinks, and of course, we don't know, we're not lawyers, assuming unless it's being presented in some way as a response to something else, I think you have to just hold on to these things until you have trial, right? Until you present it as evidence in a trial. Because what would he do with evidence that Blake was witness tampering? He has to hold on to it for the right. He's going to drop a bomb in some capacity. But Blake and Ryan are idiots if they think that it's like just gone away. They know it's there. Michael Gottlieb, her attorney, knows it's there. Ezra Hudson, her attorney, knows it's there. Her whole team, her whole defense / prosecution, I mean, they all know it's there. It's just about now what? What's the next card we can play? So it's just really watching how the game is played out. We'll have to see where it goes. We'll have to see where it goes with that. Now, so I want to tell you all about what I think about this story that just came out about Taylor Swift and Blake Lively and their friendship, and then the two dragons that are still holding on tight with Ryan and Blake, because there's two that are still holding on really, really tight, and they have to, because when you got business with people, you got to really hold on tight. So we got two dragons that are, in with Ryan and Blake, and we'll talk about that because they just got a huge article on Variety. When I tell you guys that the next story is brought to you guys by Ollie, Ollie, and just a reminder that if your dog could talk, they would beg for Ollie. The full body tail wag, the excited little hops, the big goofy grin, that's the Ollie effect. Ollie delivers clean, fresh nutrition and 5 drool-worthy flavors, even for the pickiest eaters. Made in U.S. kitchens with highest quality human-grade ingredients, Ollie's food contains no fillers, no preservatives, just real food. And here's the thing, healthier food means a happier pup. More energy, shinier coats, better poops, and more excitement at mealtime. With 5 protein-packed recipes like fresh beef with sweet potatoes or fresh turkey with blueberries, even the pickiest eaters can't resist. You might think, dang, my dog eats better than I do. And that's probably true when it comes to Ollie. So dogs deserve the best, and that means fresh, healthy food. Go to ollie.com, OLLIE.com/dailydose. Tell them all about your dog and use code DAILYDOSE to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Truthfully, I use Ollie every day, you guys. I'll show you a picture on my Instagram stories of my freezer. It's filled to the brim with Ollie. I'm obsessed. I love it. It's the best dog food that I've had, and it's so convenient. Just a little pack, plop it in, mix it in with some dry food, done. All right, let's keep going with the next Taylor Swift story. So there's this Daily Mail exclusive. Can I say that? Explosive exclusive. By the way, there's 1,800 people watching. Have you subscribed? Reminding you to subscribe as I get into my next story. Subscribe and hit the like. Thank you so much for being here, new dosers. All right, Taylor Swift, exclusive explosive. It sounds so bad if you know what I mean. She says, I wish I've never met Blake. It says new humiliation for Lively as singer outs the glaring red flags she missed during their 10-year friendship. Well, I could have told you. You just have a feeling when you meet people. You just have that feeling in your heart when you meet someone, if they are a good person or not. I just feel like I have a feeling in my heart that Blake Lively, I've always had like a feeling. I'm not saying that I am a psychic, but I kind of had a feeling that Blake Lively was bad news bears. Last summer, when tone deaf Blake Lively was first being called out for her apparent refusal to take seriously the domestic violence storyline, Taylor Swift did as any best friend would. She stuck close by. Remember, after she was pictured at Taylor Swift's Rhode Island mansion in August, taking a moment of solace at the 17 million eight-bedroom estate, along with Ryan Reynolds and their 4 children. In October, they were together again. They had a double date with Travis Kelce. I can only think of his back now. How am I ever going to think of Travis Kelce without his back? That's like the only thing. It's a problem. But weeks later, Lively and Reynolds were jetting down to New Orleans to see Swift's Eras tour. And for a moment, it seemed the singer's star power had done the trick. The It Ends With Us drama was all but forgotten. That was until Lively unleashed legal warfare against her co-star and director Justin Baldoni in December. And Swift, for all those public displays of loyalty, has found herself repaid by being unwillingly dragged into the, oh God, these are words that I have a hard time. Rancorous? Is that rancorous or rancorous? It better be rancorous. Named in legal documents. Rancorous saga, named in legal documents and momentarily at least subpoenaed as a witness. Well, she's no longer subpoenaed. We know that. Taylor is done with Blake. Dun, dun, dun. It says she is feeling exploited by Lively. You know who, should we do like an award each week for the Delulus of the week? Rancorous. Thank you so much. It's rancorous. Okay. I'm just trusting you on this one, Patricia. Okay. Here is the Delulus of the week. Go to Threads. They're all on Threads. The Delulus of the week are the ones on Threads that are saying that they're still huge Swifties and they're Team Blake. Okay? Because they believe that as a Swiftie, they know that Taylor Swift is still standing by Blake. And I'm thinking to myself, tell me you've never had girlfriends in your real life. Like, take celebrity out of it. Take celebrity out of it. Take Taylor Swift, Blake Lively. Take It Ends With Us out of it. Take Justin Baldoni out of it. Take movies out of it. Take eras out of it. Just look at 2 girls. Girls don't act this way. Like, they ain't friends. I'm really sorry to break it to you. You're going to have to choose which one you want to go with. You're either Team Blake or you're a Swiftie at this point. I don't think you can be both. If you really believe that Blake Lively is telling the truth and she is like a stand-up human being and fighting for all women and she was truly sexually harassed on that movie, then you're going to have to drop Swiftie. And if you were a Swiftie hardcore and you like want to support Taylor Swift and go on all the concerts and like we are never ever getting back together and Reputation, Taylor's version, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and you want to, see them get engaged at the next Super Bowl or whatever, like drop Blake. You got to pick one or the other. I think we're children of divorce, ladies. So you have to figure something out. Okay, back to the show. Sorry, it's like Delulu. All right. It's perhaps a little surprise that Swift, godmother to Lively's 3 daughters, is said to be relieved that their decade-long bond is over. Right now, if Taylor had one wish, it would be that she never met Blake. Although there have been good times during their relationship, the issues now concerning the Baldoni case have outweighed them. When Taylor looks back at their friendship, she realizes it wasn't worth all the stress Blake put her through. She can now see all the red flags that should have been a warning to her. Taylor had to tone Blake down time and time again because she always wanted to be the leader of the pack. Are you shocked by this? You guys, Miss One-Upper wanted to be the leader of the pack. Blake is the biggest one-upper, and I know this from I know this from all of the interviews that we saw throughout all of the press, but you know how I know she's the biggest one-upper? Go watch the actual dancing scene. Remember the dancing scene where they're dancing and she says, I'm so uncomfortable during the scene where it was the it smells good scene, not you smell good, the it smells good scene where, she's like, let's just talk. Let's just talk. And he's like, okay, I'm directing a freaking movie. Can we just like be? He's like paying attention to the extras in the back. And she's like, do you want to talk to me about my life? She's everything he says. She's like, yeah, Ryan and I do that too. We're so cute. I remember showing that to Lance. I wish I filmed Lance's reaction to that. When I showed my husband that scene, I was like, Lance, who's totally not like involved in this at all. It was so early on in the game. I said, Lance, I need you to watch this scene. Is she uncomfortable? And he's like, I don't know, but she's a one-upper. That's what he said about her. She's so annoying. Allegedly. Taylor had to tone Blake down time and time again. She always wanted to be the leader of the pack. She's relieved it's over. She put up with Blake's antics for far too long because she's a loyal friend. It took the It Ends With Us drama to finally get her to pull the trigger on it. It's understood that a dutiful Kelsey is following suit and cutting off Lively and Reynolds. It's okay. Taylor and Travis are disgusted with Blake and Ryan and how they tried to use Taylor in their fight against Justin Baldoni. They're vowing their break from the acting couple is permanent. Oh my God, I want to sit here and just like watch all the faces in this picture. Okay, that's Jason Kelsey in the background, right? Okay, that's Jason Kelsey. That's Ice Spice, who to me is just like, she's such a trip. Her look, she's like Annie with orange hair. Who's that? Who's the blondie? Someone tell me who the blonde is right next to them. She's got to be someone, right? Who's the guys behind? Who's that guy in the back? Who are these people? I want to know everyone, and I want interviews with them right now. I want to know everything. But yeah, she's trying to take over Taylor Swift's moment in this. Having issues with her, obviously. Thank you for being a member for 2 months, MC High Life. Donna, you should watch Kristen Cavallari and Justin Anderson chat about Blake Lively. It was fun to watch. You know, Justin being in a hairdresser in LA, he got tea. You guys, between us, Justin Anderson, who's Kristen Cavallari's best friend, and I DM all the time. He is my best friend online. He's like, I would be your best friend if I lived in LA. I would move into your house because we would talk shit about Blake Lively and we would talk about Karen Reed from morning till night. I'm obsessed with Justin Anderson. Oh, that's Patrick Mahomes' wife. It doesn't look like Brittany Mahomes at all from this angle. Like, she has such short hair. I want Brittany Mahomes. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I want Brittany Mahomes to unfollow Blake. I feel like that's next because we know Ice Spice has unfollowed Blake. Okay, anyway, back to the show. This is all part of the show, but you know what I mean. Back to the article. The drama began. We know about the drama, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the point is that Taylor has already made a lot of conversations. Oh, you guys are saying it's not Brittany Mahomes. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm trusting my gut. I didn't think it was. Oh, there's Maureen. Look, there's my girl Maureen in the corner here. So I will say that, you know, usually these things are not unfounded. These conversations about, oh my God, she's done with her. She's done with her. I believe it 100%. Blake is unbelievably annoying. Like, you cannot watch her in an interview and think that she is, like, I like to use the word insufferable. She's insufferable in interviews. So think about how she is when you're just hanging out at dinner, right? Let's move on to another one of their dragons. And this is an article that just came out. A lot of you guys sent it to me last night. I love getting your DMs. And it was in Variety. Now, I want to talk about this because I struggle with this a lot. I used to be a Welcome to Wrexham fan prior to this drama. Were you guys? My husband's a huge soccer fan. He loves watching soccer. So this was so up his alley. He always says that, you know, because of watching Welcome to Wrexham, he ended up getting his first colonoscopy because Ryan Reynolds went and got a colonoscopy on the show, which reminds me, I need to schedule it because now I'm old. Anyway, I loved the first season of the show. I love a story, a documentary like this. You know, I'm watching The Clubhouse, the story of the Red Sox, the Boston Red Sox. So these kinds of stories are so up my alley. I don't think I can watch it anymore. How? How can I watch it once I know who he is? But I feel kind of bad for Rob McElhenney. I think I'm saying his name right. Who's his business partner in this show and also co-owners of Welcome to Wrexham, or what Wrexham, the team. He's also, creator, star of It's Always Sunny with in Philadelphia with his wife Caitlin Olsen. They're local Valley parents here. I see her around. And I wanted to show you guys this article. Hold on, I just want to pull up a comment here. Thank you for the chat. Hold on. Saba, I remember you, Saba. Where'd you go? Hey, Donna, I stopped following Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni drama. My justice sensitivity was being activated too much. Saba, me too. No wonder I'm so triggered all day because I talk about this all the time. I feel you. But what about her other friends, Gigi? Well, allegedly Gigi has chosen Taylor in the battle. So Gigi Hadid allegedly is still following Blake, according to the Instagram wars, but didn't invite her to her party. So we don't know. I think she's definitely not going to choose Blake in this. There's no way. I would be very surprised if she does. Very. But I would be very interested to see where Bradley Cooper stands in this. Because Bradley Cooper, I feel like, has a friendship with Ryan Reynolds that's separate from everything else. All right. Well, now Rob McElhenney and Caitlin Olsen get this huge interview or like feature in Variety. Now, we know how Variety feels about Justin Baldoni. I don't know if this is related, but I've talked about this many times that the Variety chief editor-in-chief despises Justin Baldoni. She thinks all Justin Baldoni fans are bizarre. That's us. We're the bizarros. Okay, so I'm imagining it's like a team effort over there at Variety to not give a shit about anything that Justin Baldoni does or says. So this is this huge article about Rob and Caitlin, who I don't really want to blame them for doing anything because they are not doing anything. However, they do mention the saga and the drama. And I want to explain why I think that they have no other choice but to loudly and proudly support Blake and Ryan. So it's a whole article about their work together. They're talking about, what they're up to. I don't even know what they're doing. I'm sure, okay, Caitlin Olsen's on a show called High Potential, and they're talking about Wrexham. And look, they're a cute couple. I mean, she's gorgeous. I don't find him necessarily like hot, but they're a good-looking young couple. Not young, but like, they're a good-looking couple. They have teenagers and they're funny, etc. But this is where it comes up. There's a whole little spiel here where it says, I'll make it bigger. Okay. It says, keeping things in the Sunny family, McElhenney's side company, More Better Industries, now includes Four Walls Whiskey. Why are they all doing alcohol? Is that all these people can do is alcohol? It's odd. Now includes Four Walls Whiskey, which he launched with Dan Howerton. And in co-owning Wrexham, he's grown quite close to Reynolds. He grabs his phone to show how often the two exchange joke videos throughout the day. It's a lot in between discussing how to grow their football empire. That their bond means that McElhenney and Olsen have made a point of lending their support to Reynolds and his wife, Blake Lively, during their public legal battle with It Ends With Us director Justin Baldoni. It's just our way of staying connected and navigating something together, he says, and also me giving and showing as much support as I possibly can with all of the other stuff that he's got going on that I know is so difficult and challenging. We both are just trying to offer our support in any way that we can that doesn't just simply add oxygen to the fire. And I believe that's pretty much all that they say about it. However, I do know that Blake Lively shared this article to her stories and she was so proud of them, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Immediately you can go on like, oh my God, I can't believe it, this and this and that. The only thing that I have to say about it is you kind of have to understand that Rob is probably panicking beyond belief over, and his wife, Caitlin, are panicking beyond belief over this case. Because you would have to be an absolute idiot to think that this potentially can ruin the success of any business endeavor you have with Ryan Reynolds. There's no question. If you don't have, if your partner in any of your businesses has a bad reputation, has a career ending, PR problem, is out with the Swifties of the world, it gets in trouble for, lying about something or whatever it is, gets an illegal issue, you're done. Like your company goes down because your business partner is. If Rob's business partner, Ryan, gets screwed, like it's over for him. So Rob has a marriage to Ryan in some sense. And you know how they say like you have to support your husband or your wife even when they are like going through the battle. And a lot of times wives and husbands like support their husband, their spouses through these like public affairs in really, really horrible ways. And then like maybe 10 years later, they come out and they're like, oh my God, my husband was, you know, having affairs every hour on the hour, like, paying prostitutes or whatever, but I had to pretend everything was fine because we were on a reality show. Like that's what this is. And so I feel like you have no other choice but to do this, And so that to me is is what is going to happen. And so it does feel a little bit like a forced hand, and maybe that's partially why they got this little article, because it's not like they're promoting anything very specific. They're not. They're just talking about Wrexham. So maybe they were like, get someone else to support Blake and Ryan publicly. It's possible. All right. Thank you guys so much also for all of the support. 2,300 people here live. Have you subscribed? I will consistently remind you guys too, because I did read an article once that said YouTubers, make sure to tell people to subscribe. Do you guys know that? On YouTube, you got to tell people to subscribe. It's magic. Oh, this is weird. Okay, I wonder if this is true. Vivad says, this is odd. Caitlin Olsen doesn't follow Blake Lively on Instagram, but she does follow Leighton Meester? Huh? That's weird. That's crazy. I would be very surprised if that's actually true. She better work on that. I would be very interested. All right. So she doesn't follow. A lot of you guys are saying she doesn't. Oh my God, that's crazy. All right, let's move on to a couple other stories. Let's talk about the update on Karen Reed. This is so annoying. For all of you trial nerds like me, Karen Reed, her trial is on hiatus. It's like the season is over and we're starting a new trial basically in 2027 because Judge Bev decided to go on vacation. For real, it's so annoying. She's gone. She's done. I was in shock. I was on no sleep yesterday. I was at Costco getting my new eyeglasses because did I remind you I'm turning 44? Just kidding. I'm very happy to get older. Very grateful. And I get a notification. It's 1 p.m. or like 1:30 p.m. And I get a notification saying trial is over, which is 3:30, 4:30 in Mass. Okay. Or Massachusetts. Trial is over. No trial tomorrow. No trial on Friday. No trial on Monday because that's Memorial Day. Trial resumes on Tuesday. I'm like, oh, what are we going to do? How are we going to get through the days without Karen or Alan Jackson? I can't handle it. What are we going to do? What are we going to do without trial? Now, here's the thing, and here's the stressful part is that I feel like this is all happening because yesterday was a shit show. Well, every day. Every day is a shit show with the Commonwealth. I mean, really, truly, I hand to God, if Karen Reed is not found not guilty, so if she's found guilty, there is no justice in the world. Activating all justice warriors, there is no justice in the world if Karen Reed is found guilty. We're running through Canton naked, okay? All of us. Well, you guys can. I'll just tell you to. But we will, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. Now, yesterday we've done there was like a few updates on the trial, but the biggest trial update was that in the morning, Judge Bev, okay, jurors, sidebar. Okay, jurors, I'm going to have you guys each individually come up to me and talk to us and counsel one by one. Jurors, one by one, you're going to have to come and talk to me one by one. Everyone else is going to have to leave the room. No cameras. We're going to have to talk to the jurors. We don't even know what we're going to have to. I'm sorry, what? Why would you have to talk to the jurors one by one? To check their shoe size? Are you going to give them a souvenir? Are you getting a survey on what kind of how they like their lunches so far? Hey, just curious. You think Karen Reed's guilty or not? Wink once for yes, wink twice for no. Do you think Brennan needs to fake a few more witnesses? I mean, what could you possibly be talking to the jury about? If one of the jurors is doing something that is wrong, then I would imagine that you remove that juror. But having this one-on-one, now people were telling me in the comments saying like, let's get is it possible that they're trying to kind of remove all the pro Karen Reed jurors? Like they're seeing people laugh and smirk at some of these witnesses because they're so outrageous with their answers that they're like, oh, those people are clearly very pro Karen Reed already. Let's try to get them out of there. Because Judge Bev is clearly sleeping with Hank Brennan. What would be the other option? She and Hank Brennan are in bed together. Right now, currently, in this moment, they are sleeping together. I don't even know if I have to say allegedly about that. I believe it's probably true. Now, Micah says Hank, that's Brennan, didn't have anyone else to call yesterday because they expected Alessi to cross Dr. Wolf for longer than 5 minutes. So they didn't want to call Dr. Welcher yesterday to only have him to come back next week. Oh, interesting. So that's why they just cut it down early. It was so annoying. It's been such an annoying trial. I feel like this whole week was like a moot trial. We had like 1 hour of trial this entire week. But either way, don't get distracted. Okay, don't get distracted on the facts and the evidence about Karen Reed. You got to look at the evidence. And for those of you guys that are saying, someone told me, I did a whole video the other day about all the confirmed lies on the witness stand from the prosecution's witnesses. And I got a comment over here on YouTube from someone saying, Donna, I love you, but you're sounding tinfoil hat. I am? I didn't even know who Karen Reed was over a month ago. I just jumped in here. I'm just looking at it for what it is. It's evidence. Seems insane. Elsie is here. What are you saying? Girl and Bev had the wildest smile on her face, LOL, when court ended. She's like, all right. She rips off her judge thing. She's got like a little tube dress on under. No, I'll tell you what Bev was doing yesterday. You guys ready? You want to get triggered? You ready? Get your trigger out. This is a triggered moment. I was like, you've got to freaking be kidding me. Check out what Bev was doing last night. By the way, I didn't even do a live show yesterday. Don't tell me it got deleted. Okay, good. It's here. Oh my God, I got nervous. Yesterday was my 14-year wedding anniversary. 14-year wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary, Lance. We didn't do an Instagram post for each other. We must not really love each other like Ryan and Blake. Okay, here, hold on one second. Check this out. Yesterday, Wednesday, May 21st at the Bar Association of Norfolk County annual dinner, 4 Point Sheridan. Person of the Year, the Honorable Beverly J. Canoni. Yup. Last night, she got a freaking honor for being Person of the Year from the Bar Association. You tell me, if this is happening here, this is Blake Lively getting a Titan Award from Time Magazine. I guarantee you right now that Bev Canoni has Leslie Sloan as her publicist. I'm putting it. Someone asked ChatGPT. Okay, this this is good, Andrea, for being sidebar Person of the Year. Sidebar. She's sidebar Person of the Year. Judge Bev has spent more time in sidebar than any other judge. Explain. How? Who are these other Fagoni? I'm sorry. I shouldn't be giving shit to Richard Fagoni, but I can't. Richard Fagoni. I'm sorry. I'm dying. I can't. If Bev is getting Honorable Person of the Year, it's over. Like, we are officially in the upside down. Blake is the Titan, and she is getting Honorable Person of the Year. It's over. Oh my God. What does Canoni mean? Wait, Judge Bev is full of Canone. What is Canone? And now I have to Google it. Is that like an Italian word? An Italian word with multiple meanings, primarily returning to a cannon, but it can also be used to describe a large tube or pipe, or a slang large marijuana joint. Is that it? Is that what I'm saying? Oh my God, Karen Reed, you guys. Everyone pray for Karen Reed, man. She is up against the world over there. Canon. Did I say it right? Oh, anyway. Okay. We got to move on. I did watch Summer House in the Valley. Let's do like a few minutes. Did you guys watch it? Those are the two Bravo shows that I watch, only because those are the two ones that I'm actually somewhat interested in. So let's start with The Valley. The Valley was wild. And I'm only going to talk about one story, and that's this like trying to make Danny Bucco an alcoholic story. So tell me, do you guys think he's an alcoholic or not? This is the story. And for those of you that don't watch the show, I'm going to explain to you. There is a father of 3 young kids. He has like a 3-year-old and two twins that are like, I don't know, 1. He is very religious with his wife. They are church going. He's an actor. They are very, very like good, responsible, good parents. He is a good man. Okay. And every so often he drinks. And when I say every so often, from what we've seen, it's like when they go out on vacation or like out partying. And just a few times he's gotten a little drunk. And maybe he's acted a little bit out of control. Nothing that we haven't seen a million times over on these shows. On this one episode that happened last week, everyone's drinking their asses off on Friday night in Santa Barbara. He doesn't drink at all because he has to drive home because he gets up early on Saturday for a voiceover gig, gets no sleep the night before. I know what this feels like. So I felt very sympathetic for him because I was exhausted yesterday. Wakes up really early on Saturday, works, and then drives all the way back up to Santa Barbara, to the hills of Santa Barbara, like a 3-hour drive, meets up with everyone at a winery gets there late. Everyone's sloshed already because they've been drinking wine at 11 a.m. And he starts drinking with them. So he's getting a little buzzed. Then he gets back to the house. And allegedly, I mean, I guess we saw kind of video of this. There's a pantry. Everyone's getting back to the house. Everyone's still drinking. Gets back to the house. He goes into the pantry and closes the door behind him. And I guess someone else was in there. And he was like, I got to catch up with you guys. And gets the Casamigos bottle and takes a swig of the Casamigos bottle. Now, an hour later, he goes and lays down in bed and he passes out. Sleeps through dinner. Okay. The way that the house treated him, and by the house, I mean the girls, he's an alcoholic. He is an alcoholic. Why are we not talking about the fact that your husband is drinking in the closet? I'm sorry, what? The man drank a few glasses of wine and had a shot of tequila and slept. He's like the quietest, calmest alcoholic I've ever seen. The man is a father of 3 babies. He's in Santa Barbara and he worked all day and he slept 5 hours. Let the man sleep. It is so shocking how much they build this story up. They create an entire, and they're doing this, you guys, with a Stanley Cup full of vodka. He's such an alcoholic. What are we doing? What show is this? I'm like, since when are Bravo stars who are guzzling alcohol, sitting here judging a man, a father, a young father for, yes, sometimes he drinks too much. Who hasn't? And yes, sometimes he probably is a binge drinker. August is saying he is a binge drinker. Possible, which is a problem, which is not a good thing. I used to have that problem, by the way, you guys. 100%. I used to have that problem, but I wouldn't drink all week long. And then on Saturday night, I would be like, yeah, let's go out. And I would drink too much. And I've totally reined that in because I hated the way I felt on Sunday mornings. So if any of you guys are feeling that way ever on Sunday mornings, just slow it down on Saturday night. Still go out, have a couple drinks. You'll feel a million times better on Sunday. It's the best decision I ever made. Does that make you an alcoholic? I don't think so. It makes you have a bad relationship with alcohol. But if you're aware of it and you can slow it down, great. If you can't slow it down, if you don't have that ability, then you have a problem, I think. I'm not one to diagnose. I'm just saying for me, it's a problem for some. But this was crazy. And I was like, I was pulling my hair out. I was like, I can't believe, like, how holier than thou. And meanwhile, Jax is sitting there rage texting, doing cocaine, rage texting in rehab. And they're sitting here, this poor little, like, I say little because he's literally, I think, 5'2", religious man is like, church going, good guy, good husband. They're attacking his character, Ugh. It bothered me. Did he act perfect on the show forever? No, he did act a little inappropriate. He did act like, but we've seen it from all of them. It just feels like we're dealing with, like, all of a sudden everyone's like this perfect angel. They're all horrible human beings. I think Kristen was the only one. Kristen Doty is the only one on this show that I like, which is saying a lot. When Kristen Doty, Hot Mess Express from Vanderpump Rules, is the only one that speaks any sense on the Valley. That's how I feel. Allie says, however, we cannot take out of context that he did sexually assault a classmate. So was it because did he grab her butt? Is that what happened? He like tapped her on the butt? I can't really get the story straight. He tapped her on the butt. Okay. Not cool, I guess. He said, I'm sorry. He sat there. He took accountability. They had a conversation about it on camera. He was like, I totally apologize for that. Like, I can't believe I did that. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Like, what else do you want? You guys are friends. Like, you all hang out together. She's a lesbian. He is married. Like, he probably just like blurred the lines. He thought they were cool. Like, people can make mistakes. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Anyway. So there's a couple more stories about the Valley, but let's move on. Summer House, okay? Summer House. Yesterday was the season finale. I need to know your guys' thoughts. They edited out so much of both of these shows. Well, they edited out one thing from the Valley where Janet is talking about in a talking head in a confessional. She mentions that Nia went to Al Anon, and then they cut that out. They aired it in like a trailer or in an earlier episode, and then they cut it out in the final episode. So they completely changed that. And that's interesting because I thought that was kind of messed up. Janet is like the worst. Sorry, I will never be a fan of Janet. She drives me insane. She's the worst. But she totally outed what is supposed to be a very, very confidential thing. When someone goes to any sort of anonymous, like Alcoholics Anonymous, Al Anon, anything, that's not something you should be sharing. Totally inappropriate. She outed that on a TV show. And then Bravo freaking put it in and aired it. Then on Summer House, remember, we all watched the trailer and we all watched the first episode where they said, they showed this scene where Craig was caught texting these two girls with Paige, and we were going to see it later on in the finale. Where was that? Never saw that scene last night in the finale. Remember that? Was waiting for this big cheating storyline with Craig, which just never showed up. But it was the finale of Summer House, which let me tell you something. This is just between us and all 2,000 people that are watching and all the thousands of people that will watch and listen later. You couldn't pay me. Well, maybe you could pay me. I mean, it depends how much they pay on Summer House. Never mind. You could pay me. I guess to be paid, I would do it. To do all these costume parties, to do all these theme parties, to set up every single Saturday for these huge parties, to do all this makeup and the hair and it's Halloween every Saturday night. I would die. I would die. Never. I hate Halloween. I hate dressing up. Never. This is my nightmare to do a theme party every Saturday night. I don't understand how they do it. Why are there so many theme parties? Do people like this? The costume parties, like it went out of control. It went out of control. They're all dressed like dead people. I don't know. Is it a Stranger Things party? Is it a zombie party? I couldn't really tell. I didn't really care. Craig, the best part of this entire episode is the first dinner because they're sitting there and this is right after Jesse and Lexi break up. And I'm team Lexi on this breakup. I'm never team Jesse Solomon, which by the way, guys, did you hear the tea? Jesse Solomon and Erica Jane hooked up after Watch What Happens Live a few months ago. Yes, you heard me here. Jesse Solomon and Erica Jane hooked up. Jesse Solomon, in some weird upside down way, because remember, in this upside down world, Judge Bev is getting Lawyer of the Year. Jesse Solomon is getting Erica Jane. What's happening? Next, he's getting Countess Luann. Like, gross. This is actually like a rumor that has been confirmed multiple times in the Bravo sphere. I just saw it on Twitter and everyone was saying it's confirmed. It's really strange. So Jesse Solomon gets broken up by Lexi because Lexi is the most mature 21-year-old I've ever seen in my life. She's like, you made me sound like an idiot. You made me hate Sierra. You made me not be friends with everyone. I don't like you. And Jesse's like, why? Why? I just got my toe sucked by 14 girls. Like, why? Jesse Solomon's the worst. The worst. And I don't believe anything he says, by the way. And he's in love with her. It's very clear. He really liked her, but he was playing her the entire time. I really like Lexi between the two of them. So so he's all like bummed about it. They go out that night. The girls kind of just chill at home and do their own thing. The best part of that dinner, though, is that they're having a freedom dinner because Lindsay is celebrating 1 year since breaking up with Carl. But Carl's at the freedom dinner. So Carl has to eat and enjoy this dinner of celebrating being let go by Lindsay. And Lindsay does like, Carl, thank you for breaking up with me because my life has been so much better without you. And at the end of the dinner, they said, Carl, we should start to write your post 1 year ago because Lindsay wrote like a whole essay about everything that has happened since Carl broke up with her. I love Lindsay. this season of Summer House. Truthfully, I will follow Lindsay anywhere she goes. Lindsay is the star of Summer House. Sorry. In my opinion, Lindsay is the star of Summer House. Like, without Lindsay, that show is going to have a hard time. That's just my opinion. She needs to go wherever she goes, I go. She is amazing TV, and Andy knows it. Andy knows it. So they end up having this party the next day, and obviously she feels uncomfortable about, having to hang out with Jesse. There's like all this back and forth. Nothing really huge happens during the party, except when they get back, they come home. Oh, I guess the summer ends and no one says goodbye. Like, normally we have this big goodbye, right? Did I just miss that? Or did they just completely cut through that? There was no packing up and saying goodbye. All of a sudden it's December. Lindsay goes in to have her baby. Then it's the end of December and Craig and Paige break up. You hear the podcast. And then it's January and all of a sudden Paige and Amanda come over to Lindsay's house. We get to see them meet Gemma, and they're so cute, the three of them. I actually like this scene, just seeing the three of them hang out. Like, I want more of this, the three of them in the city. I don't ever need to go back to that disgusting Hamptons house ever again. Honestly, I'm so down for just the girls in the city. And I'm okay without Sierra too, by the way. I'm like, just Amanda, Paige, and Lindsay, and like find some more girls, like even Gabby. Sorry. So they sit there and they start talking about everything. And then they start talking about Craig because she's like, tell me about the breakup. Now, remember, this is a month after the breakup is announced, even less. And Paige goes on and on and on how she doesn't even trust Craig. She doesn't even trust that Craig bought the ring. She doesn't even trust anything about Craig and Craig and Craig. And she was so unhappy with Craig. She was such an unhappy person in this relationship that she said she was so happy in. She was just not herself. And she was this and this and that. Nothing new, nothing shocking, nothing surprising, except for the fact that once again, they dragged the fact that Craig did not stand up for her when she asked him to please make a statement. This is so Blake Lively and Taylor Swift. Please make a statement that I did not cheat on you. And he said, no, I don't really feel like I have to at this time. Big mistake, I guess. Huge mistake. Huge. Very pretty woman, big mistake, huge of Craig. Because had he just said, okay, I'll make a statement. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Master. Yes, Paige, whatever you say, even though you broke my heart and tore me into a million pieces, I guess I'll make a statement and tell everyone in the world that you didn't cheat on me, even though I'm not really sure if you did or not. Because he said no, the entire Summer House cast turned on him, and he became like the most hated man in America. It's crazy. Unreal, right? And then, of course, Kyle Cook on Watch What Happens Live confirms that he texted Craig. Craig didn't respond to him. Can't believe it. How dare he? And once again, Craig gets thrown under the bus. And Craig is literally just looking hot and living his best life. Sorry. Just being honest. MC High Life, Donna, TMZ, Daily Mail confirming Brian Friedman received everything they needed from Taylor's team. See? There you go. There you go. Exactly. Felicia says Craig was being petty. I don't like him for it. Well, I'm curious, why? Think about if you guys are in that situation. Imagine you in a situation where the man that you're in love with, I'm assuming if you're a woman watching this, the man that you're in love with breaks up with you, breaks your heart. You're devastated. And then these rumors come out that he has been hooking up with this other girl. And this other guy writes on his Instagram stories that it's true that, they've been like, he's been sliding into this girl's DMs while you guys were together. And there's all these rumors. And then your ex comes over to you and says, please publicly say I wasn't cheating on you. People are skewering me online. But you're like, wait, you want me to save you? You just ruined me. Why? Like, what did he owe her? I don't fall for that. I would be petty. I think so too. I guess if that's petty, then I would be petty. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about that. All right, you guys. Let's see what this is. It says show comments on stage. Should we try something? Hold on. I want to see if this works. Live comments from viewers will appear on screen during your stream. Keep the conversation going and make your audience part of the experience. Wait, do you guys see the audience comments? Like this live chat, everyone. Donna's the bet. I like that. Wait, do you guys see the comments? Yes, that's kind of cool. Do you like that? So, just a reminder before we wrap for today. I know it's really small. How do I make it bigger? On my TV, not phone. Huh. Yeah. They're just working on it. It's a new little beta thing. Okay. Well, very, very tiny. Okay. So you guys just make sure, just a reminder, tickets are selling for Dosers Live. Buy your tickets. Once they sell out, they will not be available anymore. Buy your tickets. Make sure to dailydosepod.com/Dosers Live. I will turn off the comments. You guys are all saying that you can't see it. You're so cute. I'll keep them on just for today. Okay. So dailydosepod.com/Dosers Live. Okay, I want to say one thing really fast before we wrap. So yesterday, and for those of you guys that understand, as you know, I'm Jewish. Okay, I'm a proud Jew. And I've been basically advocating for, the safety of Jews since October 7th, because I never knew that it was going to be a thing that I had to be loud and about. I even started another podcast called Just Jew and Me. It's over on YouTube and on the podcast app. Specifically, so I didn't really have to address it on this podcast because I didn't want to alienate people or isolate people or make people feel like I was trying to be political or any of that. And I'm not trying to do that at all today because this is not really about the war. It's not about what's happening across the world. It's about what's happening here at home in America and just in our backyards. In the last couple of days, it's been just a really scary time because there's been this really horrible, false piece of information that started to get spread online, what is called blood libel. Okay. And what that is when a false, inaccurate fact gets spread, and it was false. And it was spread by the UN. And then they retracted the statement. But the statement, by the time it was put out there, it was, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube is the way to put it. And so once a statement that is very devastating gets put out there, it spreads, especially for anyone that wants that kind of the rhetoric to be out there, right? I'm not going to go into the details of it. I don't want to. I don't want, all I want to say is that people are very quick to believe everything that they see online, and especially when it comes to a very, very specific story that they're taught to believe about the world. By reposting and resharing and reparroting whatever it is that you hear without doing some critical thinking about does this even make sense? Is this number even possible? How would they even come up with this? Or Googling and seeing, oh, wait, the fact was retracted, even though, of course, that wasn't making the media rounds, the retraction of the statement. This one statement blew up and it went everywhere. To the Glennon Doyles, to the Miss Rachels, to the Katie Courics, to the biggest millions and millions and millions of accounts, followers of accounts, to the very small accounts, to the little TikTokers, to the, there's YouTubers that Unfortunately, I've had to unfollow here that I used to align myself with that I just can't anymore because they are spreading lies about my people. And it's been a very, very, very trying time. These last 48 hours have been very scary because it's like we've been feeling this kind of under the surface, like tension and fear. And last night, as if like, like the tension would have just been like, it's like you saw it coming, but you never thought it could come. A young, very, very young, innocent Jewish couple who happened to be at the Jewish Museum in DC, Washington, DC, who happened to be working for the Israeli embassy, but these are Americans who are Jewish, were gunned down by a man yelling, "Free Palestine," a man who, from what I've seen, is not even from that region. He's just been indoctrinated to hate Jews. He didn't know who he was shooting. He just went to the Jewish museum. Okay. This is the worst nightmare for a Jew. This is the worst nightmare for anyone who literally feels like they're being hunted in the streets. I can tell you 1000%, everyone I know that is Jewish is scared. You can say that we're being dramatic, which you are. A lot of people say, oh, the dramatic. Oh, da, da, da. It's not. It's truth. I said this back in October 9th. I have video footage of it. Here we are, October 9th, 2023. Here we are on May 22nd, 2025. I proudly wear my Jewish star, but I drop my kids off at their Jewish school every single day with a tightness in my chest, a fear, because innocent people of all places, and hear me out when I say this, should not be involved and should not be attacked for things that they have nothing to do with. Okay? Especially when they are across the world from everything else that is happening. The only reason I bring it up here is because I think being Jewish it's feeling very isolating and scary right now. And I always think to myself, like, we need more people to talk about it. And why isn't like Steven Spielberg saying anything? Why isn't like Adam Sandler? Where are these people? Where's Seth Rogen? Like, where are the people that like really made money off being Jewish for so many years? Like, where are they? And here I am, I'm Jewish and I have an audience here. So I'm just saying, as a Jewish person, if you see something, say something. If you're not Jewish and this doesn't feel right for you and you feel concerned for the Jewish people or for anyone that is being unfairly attacked just simply because of who they are, say something. Anyway, I hope I made sense in that way. That is that. I'm praying for a better tomorrow, but I won't cower down and I won't be scared to be who I am. My grandparents didn't survive the Holocaust to have oh my God, I'm going to start to cry to say that. My grandparents didn't survive the Holocaust to like have my parents, to have me like fall apart and be scared to be Jewish. Okay. So like that's why we do that, right? Like we stand proud and we fight for the rest. Anyway, I'm falling apart now. So that is that. I love you guys. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of their Thursday. Stay strong, stand strong. I love you. Pay attention to what you guys share and read online. Make sure it's true. Do not post misinformation. Just know that your words matter. And you may think that you're saying something that like feels right in your heart, but your words can really, really change. Like people get angry with what you're saying and people turn that against a whole community of people that don't deserve the anger. So just be very aware with what you're saying. There's a lot of people out there that are causing a lot of danger with their words. That's all I'm saying about that. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.